to do a nice little show here called Saber Team's Corner. And I'm going to start talking about stories of guns and stories of my military stuff and also just things in general. I'm going to put this on my Saber Team Tactical website and where I have a little bit of followers, but I'm going to build that page up. I first want to talk to you guys about how I got introduced into Glock. For a long time, I carried a HK USP 9mm, and I carried this gun for a long time. I loved it. It's a very nice gun. I only paid $500 for it for a guy who needed some money, and so I took this gun and started shooting with it. I wanted to shoot competition with it, but the firing, it was a double action. And I had a hard time pulling the first trigger pull on that double action because I have a damaged right hand. And so what I would do, when I pulled that first trigger, I would struggle. My hand would shake real bad. And so the instructor, he noticed it, and my first pull, it would be to the far left, to the far right, or down, because I would squeeze so hard I would tip the gun. So when I went out and did a class up in Rome, when I was getting my NRA certifications, I went up there and I was getting my certifications in outside the home NRA and inside the home NRA. And so I went up there to take this class in Rome, Georgia. Now, keep in mind, I didn't have any experience with anything in nature of racism outside the military. So that was pretty much, I didn't experience it. And a lot of people say they experienced it, not me, you know. So so when I went up there, I saw on the building it was a gigantic Confederate flag. And I drove past the place. It was funny because I drove past it and I said, this can't be the place, right? I figured, in Georgia, maybe so. And so I drove past the place the first time, then I came back the second time, and drove past it the third time. I called the instructor and I said, is this the place? And he said, yeah, man. They said, that's the address. Come on in. I said, the place with the big Confederate flag at the top? He said, yeah. I said, you said, you sure? He said, yeah, man, don't worry about that flag. Everything's all right. So I went inside there, and it was a white guy, and his wife was Asian. They were very nice people, very good people. So we went in and had the class 2-day course. First day was all classroom time. Then we went out to the range for the second day. And the second day, these guys, they noticed I was having a hard time pulling the trigger on that Glock. So what they did was they brought some Glocks out. I think it was 17 and a 34. And they let me shoot them. They had a cans on them, so we shot them without headphones on. And, man, I shot that first Glock, and I put 3 rounds within a one-inch circle about an inch apart. I said, you know what, I done fell in love with Glock. So I took that Glock, and after the course, I went home and sold all my guns, all my handguns that I didn't want. I kept some of the revolvers, some of the classical pieces, and I went out and bought a Glock 17. That was my first Glock I ever owned. I started shooting competition with it, IDPA, and I loved it. Then I started carrying it as a side concealed carry gun. So then I bought a Glock 41 to 45. I started carrying that and was just going to shoot the 17 as competition. But the 41 was so heavy, I was like, you could feel it on your side. I was like, nah, I'm not going to carry that. So I went ahead and bought a Glock 34, and I started using that for competition. Then I bought a Glock 26 as a backup to my Glock 17 because the 26 you can take um, the same magazines from the 17. They'll fit the 26, and so that's a win-win. So I took the Glock 34. I shot it over a year and a half. I wanted to see what it do. Everybody's saying Glock's indestructible, right? I wanted to see what it do. So I took it a year and a half, and I shot over 7 to 10,000 rounds with it. I was shooting an average of 4 matches a week, 1 match every month, outdoor, and so I was putting and letting my students use the firearm too, and doing demonstrations with it. So I was putting a lot of rounds through this gun. So I was at one indoor match. I started shooting this gun. Next thing you know, it was cycle. It wouldn't cycle, and the it kept misfeeding and getting a light strike. So what I was doing was kept cycling the gun, trying to make it work. It was a bolt action at that point. So I took it home, cleaned it, changed the firing pin spring, took it back out, and redid it again for another year and a half. Same thing happened, and about another 7 to 10,000 rounds. I noticed. Well, I was on the range. Let me pick it up and show you. I was on the range. The gun is clear, and the front sight swiveled. I had a student was shooting it. She pointed out the front sight started swiveling, and the two pins, this pin here and that pin that hold the trigger housing, fell out and fell on the ground. I couldn't find them in the dirt. The trigger was so loose, so I took it down the Glock, and I wanted these night sights on here. You see these night sights? I wanted the night sights on there. So took it down the Glock and had them put the sights on. I picked, and then I wanted them to fix it. And they said, they came back, said the gun's kind of dirty. So 45 minutes later, they came back out and said, we cleaned your gun, put the sights on. Why was it so dirty? And I told them, I said, what I done to it. And they said, okay, cool, do it again. In the meantime, I haven't shot this gun. I haven't cleaned it in maybe almost about 3.5 years now. So I don't have that many rounds on it because I stopped shooting competition a while back. IDPA, I started shooting USPSA. I was shooting PCC. And so this gun hasn't been cleaned in about, I'd say about 3.5 years since the last time I took it down the Glock. It still runs like a champ. I love it. I know what Glock can do. Glock is an AK of pistols for me. I've seen them drop. I've seen them blow up. I've seen them thrown across a training area, and they still work. No other pistol I know that can do that. A lot of people don't like them because they feel like they're plastic. They said the same thing about the M16 A1s, which was, very interesting gun. But I know this is my personal opinion. I know you guys don't like Glock, and if you don't like it or if you're a fan of Glock, that's cool. But this is not to get a sponsorship from Glock. This is just my personal feeling. So with that, I put my life on Glock. Every day I carry concealed carry. So Glock will be my number one gun I will run to. Any day, any time. There's no other way I would use any other gun besides Glock. And with that, it's the best I ever seen. So I'm going to do a bunch of short stories here on the Saber Team Tactical website. Build up. I'm going to talk about some military stuff and some of the good stories and the bad stories. And just share some things and see if I can build up this page. All right? So we'll see you next time. All right.